Yeah, yeah, yeah. Step onto the playground, feel the energy.
All right, welcome back to the podcast playground where podcasters come to play. Today, my guest is no other than Dominic. Y'all might know him. Y'all might have seen them photos, but if you haven't, you need to check it out here on Facebook and Instagram, so don't play with it. Welcome, man. Welcome.
What's up, Doc?
Chilling. What's good in your hood? So, who is Dominic?
That's not a hard question to answer. A creative that's always looking for the next inspiration. An individual pretty much willing to almost shoot anything outside of heights. I'm terrified of heights. So for everybody that's out there paying attention, please don't get me on another bridge. I mean, for content purposes, I will do it, but the entire time I'm literally shaking in my boots. But a family guy, that's the biggest person of who I really am. I started most of this because of my family. Christmas pictures one year, honestly. And when she told me how much it was going to cost me to have those family pictures printed out.
You were like, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, those were my exact words. I literally told myself, we're not going anywhere else to get pictures by anyone else anymore. I'm going to take care of the family pictures from today on forward. So that is pretty much me in a nutshell, man. I mean, I'm probably one of the most approachable people you can meet, but at the same time, I'm always going to put
family first.
Them first, and a lot of people don't understand that about me. So I guess I'm complex to some.
Complex to some and caring to others.
Yeah.
So let me ask you another question. Even though family, Christmas photos is what made you kind of drive that path, what made you hold on to it? Because I mean, you could have took them photos and been like, all right, we good. The creativity was what was your driving factor to keep going?
The childhood memories with my grandfather, honestly. The summer vacations when I got a chance to go to New York and hang out with him. Griffith Knight, I gotta make sure I give him a huge shout out, would literally put a 35 millimeter disposable camera in my hand and tell me, grandson, well, Taddy, have fun. And for some reason, after I started doing family photos, I caught an emotion that made me want to continue on with what I was doing. And from then, it turned into wanting to become better and not just be a run-of-the-mill just guy with a camera. So, yeah, I mean, the inspiration from my grandfather is the reason why I literally, and I kind of get a little emotional about it right now thinking about it, but the inspiration from my grandfather is the reason why I kept going, because I felt something that moved me. And
you felt that driving force.
Yeah. And, I mean, it really did push me to want to become one of the...
Where you at now?
Yeah. And
man, that's beautiful. I ain't gonna even lie.
I'm still amazed some days that I'm actually at a point where I'm at right now. I've always been more or less the underdog in the industry, I guess. So this wave that's happening is still surreal for me, honestly. I just like to shoot. And
so what would you say if you had to pick your favorite style of shooting? What type of style would that be? Versus like events, portraits, family photos, weddings,
This is going to sound crazy, but creating a conceptual art, taking away the events. The events are cool. Weddings are outstanding. They're fun. You meet a lot of wonderful, interesting people. But prime example, I mean, looking at this backdrop behind me and automatically thinking of something like a Socrates style photo shoot is what really brings all this together for me. This is where I get my joy. This is where I enjoy every second of it, and even the stress. I'm not even gonna front. Even the anxiety and the stress that I have before photo shoots. I love it all, honestly. I don't know why, but it just does something.
Because you're not from Jacksonville.
Actually, born and raised. A lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, born and raised in Jacksonville.
Okay, so born and raised here in Jacksonville, because I'm from Jacksonville myself. How would you say your view of the photography community is?
From then to now?
Yeah. Just, like your view, like my view would be that this community is very niche. It's very niche. It's very people worried about what camera you have versus do you know how to use the camera you have. They're worried about what you're going to do for them versus working with you to build something. From then all the way up to your most recent stuff.
Back then, it was going in one direction, if you honestly want my honest opinion. It was more of, if you want my assistance, if you want my help, if you want my knowledge, it's going to cost you.
Yep.
And
it was very niche and very, you're going to pay me for what I know.
Yeah. And that part was the biggest disconnect for me, because I didn't have those resources that a lot of folks had, where I can drop $1,000 to learn lighting from, at the time, you know, Blue Francois, or, you know, his counterpart. Or there was one other guy that I hit up and was like, yo, teach me lighting. And they told me the price. And I was like, bro, I got to eat. You know, and I love Blue. Don't get me wrong. I love Blue. Blue is my guy. I don't mean to say that. Blue is a guy I still follow very strongly to this day. And I'm highly impressed with his work. So I just couldn't afford that price, bro.
Look, I met some amazing photographers, and I've met some hellified egos, or my French. But at the end of the day, I look at what I'm in this for and what I hope to get out of it.
Now, as far as where it's at now, the industry's come a long way to a certain degree. You've got more of the newcomers that are more susceptible to, hey, can you teach me? Or, hey, can you show me? Or, hey, I'm going to show you. Where compared to when I first got started, you know, if you ask for help, you know, what's wrong with you? Yeah, what's wrong with you? Why don't you know this? Why haven't you figured it out? You call yourself a photographer, and that's why I use the word underdog loosely, because YouTube was my best friend in the beginning.
Hey, your best friend. I be on YouTube like it's a second house.
Yeah. When they say YouTube University, they aren't lying. I mean, you can learn every aspect of your camera using YouTube. And
so if you had to tell somebody getting into photography today, just from scratch, they don't have no camera, they don't have anything, they just walked up to you and said, Dominic, I want to know, how can I get into photography? What would you tell them?
Don't do it.
He's like, look, here, kid, here's a college education, go that way.
Yeah, don't do it to yourself. No, all jokes aside, have a business plan in the beginning. Don't just jump into it. Have a clear direction. Have a path that has an end game. Don't just look at everybody else that has a camera and go, I can do that too. Have an understanding of what you're getting yourself into. Know that this is a competitive industry, and you're going to lose friends, and you're going to get a lot of friends. You're going to get your feelings hurt, and you're going to get stood up more times than you can imagine by models that tell you that they're going to show up. But if this is something that you're really, truly passionate about, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Just continue to follow your heart, because that's what's gotten me to this point. Honestly, I've had more cancellations, bro, but I look at it as influence, because I'll just take that same concept to someone else now, and they'll appreciate it a lot more than you probably did. You know.
But now let me ask you a question: do you do deposits for your photo shoots?
No, not anymore. And I'm sorry, but I've got a lingering deposit right now still from 2 years ago. And that was the deciding factor for me. I've had a lot of folks get upset with me. I've had one young lady that I've known for years curse me. I've got to eat too, if my time is valuable. And when she said that, the first thing I thought to myself, so my time is chopped liver? Yeah. So I don't do deposits anymore. Let me stop. I will do a deposit if the individual I'm going to work with has a portfolio that is undeniable. If I look at your not just your social media, but if I look at your online portfolio, if you've got one of those set up, and I look at that and I see on your social media you're doing thousands of different things that my dollars expended would be beneficial for both sides, you know, I don't have a problem with dropping a deposit. But in the past 2 years, I'm very sketchy about that.
But now, do you do deposits the other way? Now, let's say you have clients that want to book you. Are you loving what you do to make your time valuable enough for these people to want to put the deposit down?
Yeah, I'll say yes. And I mean, just the feedback from some of my clients, definitely. Because we bring an experience. We don't just show up with the materials. I've pulled from guys like yourself as far as creating an experience for individuals. Anybody could just show up with a camera and take pictures, but it's another thing to make someone feel comfortable, to feel empowered, to feel beautiful, satisfied, beautiful.
Most of your clients are female. You
Conscious.
have a couple of males, but most of the clients that are going to be in this, that are going to hit you up, it's going to either be the wife's going to hit you up because, you know, they want the family photos.
Yeah.
It's going to be a young lady hits you up because she wants, you know, mother-daughter photos or mother-son photos. So in that aspect, You know, like myself, I don't do any shoots without a deposit because time is valuable. And I get it. But if you like me enough to book me, then you like me enough to pay my deposit.
I'm 100% with you on that.
Because you can't go nowhere and get services
Without
And-
some form of money down.
There you go.
Can't even buy a car without money down. So to answer your question, yes, that lets me know that you are serious.
That you're really into what you're doing.
In the beginning, that lingo, I tried to fight it, but you can't. There's nothing worse than setting up an appointment with somebody and you didn't get the deposit and then they don't show. That is the biggest step on your neck, feeling hurt or spit in your face that you can get because...
I'll tell you the funny part. About 6 years ago, lady called me. She said, I seen your portfolio on Instagram. I said, oh, okay, cool. She said, they're not that great, but I need a photographer. I said, well, then you don't need me, click.
I haven't gotten to that point
First of
yet.
all, you don't call me out of desperation and then you insult me.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want my services. So she calls back. She goes, I didn't mean it like that. Well, I tell you what, I don't generally work with clients like this. You have to find the clientele that you're used. You have to find that person you're used to because I'm not that person.
I commend you a lot on that because I still haven't found the word pattern to put together to bounce back whenever I normally...
Niceness.
Yeah.
Niceness kills it all because you have to be willing to stand up for what your time is valuable. One, your time is valuable because anytime you take doing photo shoots or video work or anything outside of your family, it's taking time from your family.
Mm-hmm.
So if that time is not valuable to them, it needs to be valuable to you.
And that should be a big red flag too. In the very beginning, if they're not valuing the potential time that you're going to put into it, that should be a way of saying, hold on, this isn't for me, which is something I've learned to endure. Every client isn't a good client.
Nope. Every client is not a good client.
They may seem like the dream client, but you really got to evaluate the folks that you want to work with as far as collaborations or just as in clientele in general, because you can hurt yourself big time.
Well, you kill your brand too. The fastest way to kill your brand is to accept everything and stand for nothing.
Yeah. Been there.
Because you'll take all kinds of work. Like me, I don't do weddings because they're time consuming. And I personally, there's nothing wrong with weddings, but I just don't have that time.
You must have known that was going to be my next question because mine was Bridezilla.
Well, I never had any bridezillas. I never had any bad experiences, but I know that weddings take a lot of time and that's not something that I have a lot of because when I go from one shoot to the other shoot, or I go from setting up one video conference or one video interview, I don't have the time in there to set to just a wedding.
Yeah.
Because weddings require a lot. You know, I had a young lady hit me up Friday, and this is where having a community and a team comes into play because I was like, I can't do it, but I know somebody who can, and I sent her his information. He can go knock that out. He has that kind of time.
Okay.
So it's more or less having the people on your team that you're not trying to play crabs in a bucket with that allows you to elevate the people around you instead of holding everything down and just be like, nope, I don't know nobody.
Yeah. And that's the hard part is finding the right individuals for your community. Because anybody's going to, yeah, I want to be down. I'm game. And then when it's time, you're like, hey, bro, da, 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 da. And they're like, oh, man, yeah, I can't. Or, my dog just died. Or, you get that. You get that feeling at that point, like, you're not for the community. You're for self. And yeah, I've gotten better at deciphering those people.
Well, too, you look at people's work and see if their work is close to your work. And you look at the personalities to see if they mesh. Because if you're not one of those people that are willing to learn,
yeah,
then you already closed-minded. I can learn something every day from anybody.
I think I hit you up not too long ago because I was saying that I felt like I could elevate more from what I was already doing, but I just couldn't figure it out. And so you hit it on the head. It's you can never learn too much, especially in this industry. There's always a new trick or a new idea that somebody's projecting that, you can either use in your day-to-day of what you're doing with photography or not. But there's always space to learn. And I get so frustrated when I run across those photographers that feel like they know the entire playbook.
I'm not gonna lie, I laugh because generally when I go someplace, you see the ones who are super serious and because I come in to have fun. Whether it's a photo shoot or a video event, I come in to have fun.
Can't take
because
this
I'm not
stuff too
worried about what
serious.
my end product's going to be. So I'm there to have fun.
You got those ones that are stone face, like,
Oh yeah.
do one of these numbers to get you out of the way. And it's like, bro, it's not that serious. It is over too much business in this city for us to.
Well, think about this is if you build a true network, businesses will have to pay the price of the network. It means nobody's got these low behind $20 prices.
I never understood that.
Look, if you're willing to do a photo shoot for $20, you're learning.
And you're
And
going to burn out.
I get you got to start somewhere because everybody starts somewhere. But you still taking a $400 camera doing a $20 photo shoot. By the time you get back up to that $400 out of that $20 photo shoot,
You
and
burnt
go
out.
edit those half awful pictures because you done took 200 photos for no reason.
Yeah.
Just to find hopefully the good 6 or 10.
Yeah.
That $20 is gone.
You practically spent that in gas getting there and the water that you needed to drink. But
Correct.
I never understood. I've run across a lot of that. And I was like, you don't feel like you're worth more than that? I mean, don't get me wrong. I do the occasional free shoot, which
Well, here's the thing. To do a free shoot, there's nothing wrong with doing free shoots.
you'd be the first person to ever tell me that.
There isn't. If the person I'm doing a free shoot for is something I want to do. If I want to do it, I'm in my spare time, and I'm like, you know what? I ain't got nothing to do. Let me call up this person here because, she's always down to shoot. Come on over. We'll knock this out. Or you want to meet XYZ? We do this. But I'm not going to go do free shoots for people who, one, I don't know. Two, just because you're female, I'm not going to go do a free shoot. That is not a requisite of a free shoot. Three, you a brother, you think that, you missed the GQ. Once again, not a requisite of a free shoot.
Exactly. Which goes to what we were talking about earlier about that time. It seems like the time as a photographer is not, this is going to come back to bite me in the butt. I got a feeling, but it's not respected. It's not.
It's not respected.
We're looked at as a chess piece on a board that can be moved around however they feel like. We need you over here today. Now we need you over here. And we need you to adjust your whole life of what you're doing right now to.
So, like I was saying, in the photo industry, time is everything.
Yeah.
Even in the video industry, time is everything. If people don't value what you do, they're not going to want to pay for it. And they don't realize that they're spending time too. So why wouldn't you want to pay for a good product?
I think it's more or less because everybody feels like they can get it cheaper. And that's what 2025 taught me is value and understand your worth. Just because somebody says, oh, $250 is too much. I realize what I produce for someone as far as outside of quality, just as far as product itself. I give more edits. I've literally heard somebody tell me that they get like 3 and 5 edits. And I never understood how, as a photographer, I would sit in front of a computer with all of those beautiful pictures that I took and not want my client to have at least 1% of those.
I look at it like I do no more than 60 photos per shoot.
That's still more than what I hear, though.
Total. I mean, I'm talking about what I give the client.
Yeah, what you actually shoot.
What I actually shoot is 60 photos or less because I'm only going to take the photos that matter. I'm going to be better than Domino's because when that 30 minutes is up, I'll be packed up. So I'm going to be better than Domino's.
I'm definitely shadowing you one of these days.
So I look at it like you're paying for my experience. You're paying for me caring about your time. So when I go build you a gallery, I build everybody's galleries before the photo shoot. I say, hey, let me get your email address. Matter of fact, as soon as your deposit goes through, I will build your gallery. Your gallery will be up and running. What would you like the name of your gallery to be? So I give them all these choices. So now you're getting an experience. So you're seeing my professionalism. I'm not saying, let me send you a Dropbox. Let me get you a thumb drive. So I'm giving you these runnings that you're going to get in your experience that the next new person or the next person out there doing it, they have their own way of doing it. And that's great. That's what differs us from each other.
Right.
But I know that when I tell you $250 or I tell you $350 or even for headshots, if I tell you $500,
you're going to be happy at
you're
the
paying for two things. You're paying for the experience and you're paying for the quality that I'm going to give you. And I'm not going to give you 3 edits. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give you 1 edit. I'm going to give you a great experience and you're going to call me back.
But that's what it's all about. You want to create something to where you have that return client. And that's what I've structured myself around 100% is putting out a product that makes someone want to call their friend and say, Man, you wouldn't believe what the experience I just had during this photo shoot, you know? And a lot of the times I get that lingering, continuous client that goes beyond just the photos. You know, now we're friends because the experience was just, it wasn't just a click and shoot. It was more like I felt like I was a part of the family at that moment,
And that's
you know?
what you do. But you also pay, they also pay for the fact that you adapted to their personality. My last photo shoot, it was for a young lady who was graduating nursing school.
Did you post that one? I think I saw that one.
I think I posted one or maybe one of her photos. Because generally, I don't post any of my clients' photos. I like for my clients to go through their gallery, do whatever they're going to do with it. I might do it 6 months to 7 months down the line. I might post a photo, or I send people to my website to look through these galleries. But she was like, will you go to Orlando and do my graduation party in Orlando? No, Jason will not go to Orlando and do your graduation party in Orlando. Jason, don't travel like that. But I will find somebody who will do it, will give you close to that quality or the same care. Because once again, it's not about gatekeeping. It's about building your network. You build your network. I can say, hey, Dominic going to Orlando. Here you go. You're going to knock this out. It's $350. It's $500. They're going to pay for you to stay tonight. So you're going to get a free hotel room and the food. And you're going to go down there and knock their photos out. When you get done, you send them to me. And I will throw them in their gallery, and it'll be another happy customer.
And we're definitely on the same page as that, but it's the receiving end after you've done that is where the community part really comes in. That's when you really know who you have on your team, and if they're for the community and not just for themselves, because you'll start to see that you're throwing business, but then when it comes time for it to come back around the other way, it's like, well, you can't make it to it. I can do it for you. It's like, no, I'll adjust my time. I'll figure it out. I'll get it done. You know, I'll figure that part out. You know, don't worry about it.
But somebody that comes to you like that, they're not on your team.
Oh, they don't stay there long.
If somebody's on your team, they're not going to hit you with, man, you know, I be having stuff to do. I got a client, but you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and just take care of it myself.
But that's where I was saying 2025 taught me a lot. And that's where I was also saying earlier where I've lost a lot of close people to me that for the past 10 years, I really thought were on the same team as me and were on the common focus goal. When I literally started saying more no and started making sure that
family was first,
then
they were never on your team. They were only there as a weight on your back to get what they could get. And once they couldn't get nothing, they was on to the next person they could wait out.
But that weight feels so much better off my back now.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I actually
know your worth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing for videographers. If you finna go out here and shoot something, a 2-hour gig for $150, know your worth. It's not worth it.
Which leads us all the way back to the whole $20 shoot thing, man. Like, I don't understand how somebody can do that to themselves. I mean,
but I tell you what, the happy part is the fact that one, you're up and rolling. You're putting out some awesome photos. Because like I said, I'm not afraid to tell when somebody's stuff is good, it's good. What's the point of sandbagging somebody and their stuff is good? You just hate for no reason. Congratulate people instead of pulling them down, and your stuff is good.
I definitely appreciate it, big bro. I don't hear that often. I really don't. And I think that's where the psyche comes in, where I'm always trying to outdo the last shoot. And
well, you don't never want to lose that either. Don't ever lose the fact that every shoot you do, you want to be better than the shoot you did. Because let me tell you, the studio we sitting in, it started with 3 black curtains and a bad echo. Let me tell you, it was, when I say horrible, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Now, we heavily financed up in this game.
Yeah, I walked in and was like, wow.
But once again, growth takes time.
That it does.
It wasn't the overnight growth. I learned, I stumbled, I scratched my knee, I looked around, I got back up, and I kept moving. I met people who, once again, you put people on your team who you can count on, who you can trust, and it ain't just for doing the photos, it ain't for the video. Sometimes it's just for the emotional support, because you can get down in anything you do, and the emotional support will lift you back up and have you a second breath of wind ready to run at this again.
Very true. Very true.
I thought there would be no day that I would be in front of the camera, but it was like, you know, the worst thing in the world was coming up with the concept of the playground, producing it, and then seeing other people guest host it. And I say it's the worst thing, only because when you create something, you have a vision in your mind of how you see it, and it doesn't matter who sits there and does it.
It's not the way you saw it.
It's not the way you envisioned it, because everybody who did it did good at it. They did great at it. but it still was not what I envisioned.
Okay.
So the only way to see my vision is to be my vision.
Yeah, and as behind the camera guys, it's difficult because
Get in front of it.
the whole ride here, I was like, oh my God, I don't get in front of the camera. It's not something I do. But
I said that so many times. My first camera interview was awful. I was talking about pancakes. It was awful.
my first camera interview, I had to do with her because I was so nervous that my daughter was like, Dad, you want me to get in the interview with you? And it was like, yes, please, will you? Will you? Because I was just, I feel safe and comfortable behind the camera. In front of the camera, I'm not that guy. I don't want you to know what I look like. I just want to create and go about my business. And
I think that's what photography gives us too, because photography has taught me in these 50 plus years at it, photography has taught me that I can dim all these lights. I can build my scene. And if I want it to be moody, I can turn the lights down a little bit more. If I want it to be action filled and maybe a little bit of coloring, I could turn any one of these 10 lights in the ceiling to any color in my imagination.
Yep.
And then I can just create this scene that nobody's seen before. And now my daughter has adapted this thought process that we built sets, we've built amazing scenes. We did one for my niece my cousin that was graduating high school, where it looks like a real flower garden.
yeah, we need to talk.
Right here in the garage.
We definitely, we got to put in some work together, bro, because.
we did a pumpkin patch right there on the other side of the studio.
Okay.
So creativity is only lost when you close your eyes and you choose not to succeed at it.
Oh, definitely agree. Especially for a guy that can look at anything and draw inspiration from it. It's yeah, I definitely agree with that 100%. It only stops when you stop.
It does. So with that being noted, I'm going to ask you, do you want to tell people where they can find you at online?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Dominic Dionne Photos, DOMINIC, Dionne, DIONNE Photos.
And as always, you are always welcome to come back on the playground.